Mahesh Babu, the CEO at Switch Mobility, joins us on the show. They, of course, have exposure to the the electric commercial vehicles. Mahesh, hi, good to be speaking with you as we celebrate World EV Day. To begin with, how do you assess the pace of India's electric vehicle transition, particularly when it comes to the commercial vehicle category?
Today, EV industry is close to about $7 billion, and we have about 1.75 million vehicles sold last year, and that puts up about 4 million parked in India. You know, India is a very diversified market with two-wheelers, three-wheelers, electric buses, commercial vehicle, and cars. The EV industry is expected the Indian EV industry is expected to grow at a CAGR of 40 plus in the coming decade. So if you look at 2030, we are looking at an industry about 50 billion. If you look at the complete ecosystem of EV components, it will be about 100 billion. We are looking at a park of about 65 million vehicles on road with a sales of about 15 million in a year. I think that is a very big growth is expected in the country due to various government policies, industries, investment, customer appreciation. And this will actually put us into a very favorable import substitution bill. I would say about 14 billion US dollar can be offset by the EV industry by 2030. And the EV industry also will create about 10 million jobs by 2030. So it's going to be a sunrise sector in the coming decade. And looking at what our plans are, Switch Mobility, is in the light commercial vehicle segment as well as in the passenger commercial vehicle segment.
Good afternoon, Mahesh. This is Cheryl also joining in the conversation. And the Indian government has actually set ambitious targets for EV penetration, especially when you talk about CV and the bus segment, aiming for about 40 to 70% by 2030, which is compared to less than 1% currently. Do you believe that these targets are realistic, and by which year do you see the most of the significant transition to come about?
I think government's target is not an unrealistic target. I would say it is a very aspirational target, but with all stakeholders working, it is possible to achieve. The reason being, what I'm saying is, if you look at the bus, about 50,000 buses are sold in what I would say in the heavy bus category vehicles, and about government plays an important role in adapting in public transport, particularly cities. So if you look at city buses, I think easily we can achieve the target between 30 and 70% what the government is talking about. Because state transport undertaking are already seeing the benefits of electric mobility in bus segment, and that has really helped several state transport undertaking in the country to reduce their viability gap funding. And due to the operational cost of the electric buses, which is much better than any other fossil fuel, they are able to see the economic benefit. And with support from the government of India, which is PM e-Bus Seva and the viability funding announced by the government, I think multiple state governments are encouraged to adopt electric mobility. So electric mobility in public transport is a segment which can see very high adoption.
Okay, so that's the latest in terms of how the overall setup is, right? But if I can ask you, how supportive has the FAME 2 policy been in accelerating the EV adoption, especially for buses and commercial vehicles? And with FAME 3 being around the corner, what could be expected more from this transition?
See, I'm one of the few who have been in the EV industry from FAME 1, FAME 2, and FAME 3. I said the same thing when FAME 1 and FAME 2 transition happened. Most of the time, we don't give a clarity on continuity of policy. Between FAME 1 and FAME 2, there was a 3 months gap. The industry got confused. And then uncertainty prevailed. And then government came up with a FAME 2 policy, and then the industry picked up. For last 3 years, everything was going good. Now, FAME 3, again, there is uncertainty. The issue is customer hates uncertainty, including industry like us. We need to have a clear policy whether subsidy is there, not there, whether government is going to support, not support. I think clarity should be there for few years for any new technology to adopt. So FAME 3, I wish it is going to come in next few months. That's what I understand from the ministry and the government. But this actually creates confusion in the market. So I would request the government to quickly come up with FAME 3 policy, which includes whatever is there in the FAME 2, all the vehicles, so that commercial vehicles, light commercial vehicles, four-wheelers can be covered.
Right. Your CV sales were expected to pick up, or the CV sale as a whole were expected to see a pickup post elections, but the market hasn't seen much of an excitement. What are your thoughts on the current demand scenario? Do you foresee a rebound in the near future, or how long would that rebound take?
I think the commercial vehicle this year prediction was pretty flat. So 1 to 2% or 3% was the growth expected. But however, the group was very positive, and we were looking at innovative products to increase the market share and go to it. So if you look at it in EV, switch mobility, we are looking at a market share of light commercial vehicle about 20% this year. We have just launched in April. In the first year, we want to cross about 20% market share. And similarly, we have a very healthy order book of buses. We have a close to 1,800 buses order book in hand.
Okay, on that note, we let you go. Really appreciate you making time and speaking with us. So that was about the EV Day and the kind of transition we are seeing in India.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.